All right, questions for Gonzalo. How is Joseph's progress in the team training?
He's doing very good, very good. He's reintegrating to the training sessions in a partial way, and he's doing stuff on the side after that, but more preparing him on the fitness side. But he's doing a lot of progress. He's making a lot of progress, so we're very happy with that.
Can you just share some of the steps that he's taken in the team training and what he has left to do in order to be considered for a game day roster?
Yeah, he has to reintegrate to full training session. He's accomplishing certain numbers in terms of fitness and the recovery process of that, and obviously continue checking and monitoring the knee. But I feel like the knee is responding very well. So we're actually very excited about that, about him being more comfortable with the knee and being able to produce more on the fitness side and more physicality. So we're very happy with that. So we think we're in a positive moment in the rehab, and we will see maybe next week he starts to reintegrate completely to the training sessions.
I was going to ask you during the break, is that when you're hoping to kind of get him ready to go for the game coming out of the break?
He's going to work very hard in the break. Actually, he's in a very good mental position to work. He's full committed to anything we are putting in front of him, and he's just doing everything we are saying. So we're very happy with that, and yes, he's very motivated to come back.
Is there anything he's done in one of the sessions that made you go, oh, that's Joseph?
Oh, he's finishing. Today he was doing finishing. The other day he was, I think some of you watch, he was very accurate that day. And today he had another one, a little bit of a challenge there, like with accuracy, and he earned points every time he scored there. He had a very good score. So it was just Joseph Martinez quality at putting the ball on the back of the net.
What does he get for the points? Like, is it like skee ball tickets? He gets to go and
he gets some
plastic helicopter?
No, he got some rewards on the fitness side. I mean, I don't want to share the details. It was more resting, so every time he gets more points, he gets a bit more resting in between. But anyways, the point is he's very motivated and he's accomplishing many things. So we're very excited about that, obviously.
Okay. Caleb and Santi weren't out there, I don't think. Well, what is their update?
Yeah, the same. They're questionable for this game, as you saw the note, and yeah, they're progressing well as well, but maybe not yet ready.
Gonzalo, is Joseph's rehab this time around any different than the previous rehab immediately after the surgery? Do you know, is there something that you're more focused on? Any learnings from the past?
Yeah, this is different because this was just cleaning a little bit, and so they didn't do anything dramatically different compared to the last few surgeries he had. So this is a little bit different. It was just taking out all the discomfort he had around with the knee. So they were just fixing a few things, but not changing anything inside the knee. So that was the good news about the surgery. So now it's just coming back to normal. Obviously, still is a surgery. Still, you have to take care of of many things there. But now it's more about making sure that he's physically ready to play 90 minutes. That's the goal. The quality of Joseph, he won't improve his quality on those training drills. He has quality, so he's just trying to put on his mindset like, this is what you do very well. Let's focus on that and make sure that you are able to do it, and we are very happy with that.
Will his return, if he comes back and he looks like Joseph, affect the decision whether or not to keep Cisneros when his loan expires here in a few weeks?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Well, Joseph's return, if he comes back and looks like his old self again, affect the decision whether or not to keep Ronaldos Cisneros, because his loan is going to come up for a decision in a few weeks also.
No, I don't think that affects any of that. If you remember, since the very beginning of the season, we were trying to look for another center forward. There were rumors about some players there, and we were actually close to sign someone in January. It didn't come through, but that decision was made thinking that Joseph was healthy. So I don't think that affects that. Actually, we're very pleased and happy with Ronaldo's not just output out in there on the field and scoring 4 goals for us in a very short amount of time, but also his personality and his humility inside the group is something that we're very happy with. It's not easy that a player integrates as good as everybody loves him in the locker room, because he's humble, he's a hard worker, he's willing to do everything we said, and so that doesn't affect anything. Actually, we can play with two forwards. At some point, I remember someone talking about playing with two forwards. Yes, maybe. Why not? Why we cannot play 4-2 with two forwards up there and fullbacks very high, four playmakers in the middle? Why not? I mean, if you have the right type of players, obviously knowing that also I have Dom, I have Jackson, so it's just not discrediting anyone. We're very happy with what I have, and since the very beginning I told you I have a very good squad. I don't complain, and even with the downs that we have had this season, I don't complain. I don't complain at anything. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm blessed with a very good group of players.
In the week after Miles' injury, you said y'all were reaching out to professionals around the country in different leagues to try to gather some information on why the Achilles injuries might be happening. Did y'all learn anything that you've been able to apply or you can share?
Yeah, nothing. We do that not just to please ourselves and say we did everything. No, we do that trying to find the reason why that happened, right? So we haven't found anything dramatically different. Okay. I told you since the very beginning, it didn't have a pattern. Like two goalkeepers that we check the whole training sessions of the goalkeepers since almost 4 or 5 years ago. We check everything, and they haven't changed anything. Okay. So, and then it's two goalkeepers and then one center back. Like the way they train is very different. So it's not the training, it's the field. No, because this field we measure every month, this field, and it's been the same since the very beginning of the franchise. So we have all the records of that. We know the turf in the stadium is pretty similar or the same than Seattle's and other turf fields and New England. So we couldn't find a real clear pattern on why that happened.
Obviously, Joseph being on the field, what he brings to the table, but having him actually just out here, I guess, off the field, or just having him be in the building and around, I mean, what kind of impact does that have?
Well, he's been in the building since the injury, so he's been around with the players. But obviously, for the rest of the teammates, seeing Joseph out there and being part of the rondos, being part of the warm-ups, I mean, Joseph sets a standard for himself very high. He's a guy that wants to succeed in every action, and sometimes the frustrations that he shows are because his standard is very high, and that standard demands more also from the others around Joseph. So when players see Joseph being upset at missing a chance or missing a pass, they set the standard also higher, so that helps in that standards that we're working on with the team, which I think is pretty good. The standard of the team in terms of training sessions is very good, but obviously having Joseph back is going to impact that for sure.
Gonzalo, you have talked about consistency from the very beginning. I think if you look at the attack, there's definitely a gradual consistency. I think Thiago and Luis have multiple goals, multiple assists in consecutive games. It looks good. Defensively, how do you start to balance that, and how do you start to find consistency in the back line where you feel confident in that part of the field as well?
Yeah, well, I have to say that I understand the question is about personnel and putting together. I would add Marcelino and Ronaldo in that equation because they've been part of the 8 goals we have scored in 3 games that they played together. The consistency part of putting the same lineup. But I would say that we see this as a team. And the same way that we're attacking, we're talking about, yes, the quality of Marcelino, Luis, Thiago, Ronaldo up front. It's because our build-up is very clear with Alan, with Alex de Jong, or George Campbell, or whoever we play there, Brooks, Andrew, the midfielders, is very clean. So then we give them time and space to produce. So it's not just the attacking, it's those 4 up front and then the rest defend. Everything starts with Bobby. And the good passes, we were rewatching obviously the last game against Nashville in Open Cup. And there are many actions where Bobby sees the passing behind the number 9, and he was finding the pockets, Ivara, Roseto, and from there we start to break lines. So for us, it's not just attacking, it's the back 4, and defending is the back 4, and attacking are the forwards. We see everything collectively. So starting with Ronaldo, how we can put our line of confrontation, how we can set the bar, which center back we're pressing, what are the triggers to press, how we can defend as a unit, not just the back 4, the midfielders, but everyone, a compact, solid block. That's how we think attacking and defending. And at the same time, the best weapon we have to defend is the attack. Is if we attack multiple times, and out of 120 actions, we are attacking 90 or 100, we only have to worry about 20 or 30. and then we will worry just less. So that's the mentality I want the team have. Like we're defending, as we're attacking, we're defending big time because we don't give the opportunity to the opponent to hurt us. But I understand the question about the back four. Also, I want some stability there and try to bring guys that understand how to shift over together and the cohesion. Again, Alex De Jong just new pair as a center back, and there also there's going to be learning processes there. George Campbell is in the mix now, so whatever we decide in that position or in the back four, Ronald Hernandez is also a good option. Caleb Wiley is also a good option. I think we have to understand that everything starts with the team. That's how we see things.
What are the advantages and disadvantages to not only playing the same team you played 10 days ago as of Sunday, but playing them in their own park again?
Yeah, the same. I would say like no changes there. It's a difficult match. Very good stadium, very good opponent, good coach. They have some momentum after yesterday's victory. I mean, they're a good side, and we just have to go there and try to perform up to our standard, and hopefully we get the 3 points this time.
Gonzalo, what are your thoughts on Ivara and Assatsu as a partnership in midfield so far?
Very good. We're very happy about it. I think we found some balance with that pair. A guy, I was saying that the other day, like about Ivara being a little bit more the guy that puts the tackles, the energy, closing down the best number 10 or the more creative team player for the position. We talk about Mihailovic in Montreal. The other day was Mokhtar, Carles Hill. Like he's the one that pretty much keeps quiet those type of players. And Roseto is a bit more cerebral, more the guy that is in a good shape, just waiting. He's kind of just shadowing, and when he sees the opportunity, he steals the ball, he anticipates. But also on the ball, both are getting good connections. They're understanding at times when they cannot break the line directly, so Roseto gets the ball and he can find Thiago because the passing lane is not there. A lateral pass on Ivara, and then Ivara can play Thiago. So they are understanding better those type of patterns where they can progress the ball forward as a team, as a unit as well, and the defensive duties in transition. So once we lose the ball, who stays more as a shadow in here, who can put pressure higher on the field to counter press. So I think that partnership is getting better, and we are having a good balance of a true 6 and a true 8 maybe. So that connection I think is getting better.
I know you've spoken to us a lot about the qualities that Marcelino brings, but what have you liked specifically about him of late in the last 3 or 4 games? Has he done anything differently? What is he contributing within the attack? Like you mentioned, and you made a point to mention him when I brought up Thiago and Luis. So what do you think he's done specifically in the last few games?
I think he's been understanding better the areas of the field. I think he understood that at times in the midfield, he just needs to pass the ball and move. And higher on the field, he's taking the same responsibilities that he always takes on the ball. He's the type of number 10 or attacking player that likes the weight on his shoulder. He wants to show that he's the guy that takes the team and carries all the weight. Now he can share that with Thiago, with Luis, with Ronaldo, Joseph when he's back. Like he can share that with Emerson. Like there are other players now. So he's understanding that, and now he's connecting very well with them. So what I like is the last game against Nashville again, right? He got the ball on the weak side of space. He was able to turn and filter a fantastic ball for Andrew Goodman. Andrew Goodman's got back, goal for Thiago. So those actions where he receives in the pockets and turn, whether he's dribbling, whether he's passing, he's very good. In the same game, in the second half, he's the one that filters that pass to Ronaldo, that Zimmerman comes and cuts from behind. So those actions are the ones I want Marcelino more often, and he's understanding that positioning and the tactical discipline that he's showing now, playing in between the lines, is very good, and is helping him to impact with attacking actions in the game.
Gonzalo, I wanted to ask you about Roseto because he's been wearing the armband, and you've talked to us before about, the decision process of going through, who wears that. But I feel like a lot of fans don't really know a lot about Matheus Roseto, just personality-wise, because different language, all that stuff. So, what kind of role does he hold in this locker room? He's been here for a few years, but he's always been seen as kind of one of these guys who's, off to the side like a complimentary player to some of the bigger stars on this team. So I'm just kind of curious as to who he is as a what his personality is.
Well, first of all, he's a fantastic human being. He's a great human being. He's very noble. Noble is a good word, like very good guy. Always smiling, always with a good comment, positive comment. He has good sense of humor. But why we put him in the armband is, number one, he has a lot of time with the franchise. He has, out of the starting line, I think Brooks and maybe a little bit earlier, but he's one of the guys that has been here the longest. And I like that connection. The fans see a face that is representing the club as captain and is familiar with them. They know. The other thing is he has the respect of the locker room because he's always reliable on the field. You can always rely on tough moments. He wants the ball. He wants to play with some personality on the field. He's able to turn under pressure. So the players respect him for that personality. Maybe he's not loud, he's not the guy that is going to yell at others, but he's the guy that's going to want the ball in tough moments of the game. So the teammates respect and like Roseto a lot, and I think he's a guy that leads by example. He runs, he does a lot of things that you don't perceive at times and you don't look at shining things, but he covers a lot of ground. He covers and solves problems with his movement and his tactical awareness. So I think that makes him a good leader in a different way inside the locker room.
I did see him getting into the referee a little bit for some stuff against
I love that.
New England.
I love that. I need some help with that because it seems like I'm the only one that I'm complaining. But no, I mean, it's part of it. At times, I like the captain to take some responsibility, not yelling at the referee, but communicating with the referees to share the vision of this action maybe is not fair or whatever. A little bit on the field, the referees respect that, and I like that from Roseto. Also the position, like he's in the middle of the park. I like that. I like kind of the middle of the park to have someone that can talk and can pass the messages around to everyone because they are the center of the team. So that's another reason for sure.
One more quick one about Assatsu. Last year he was on the lower half of the league when it came to progressive passes, progressive carries, just progressive actions in general. He's improved a ton this year. Is that part of conversations that y'all have been having, or is that simply a byproduct of him having more options in front of him?
I think a mix of all of those. Like I think also the style of the team has been changing and evolving. Like last year when I took over, it was just trying to solve little things and issues, and with back three, back four, and we had different type of players, Barco. So we were just trying to survive a little bit and win the next game, and we were focused on trying to create the culture and the identity of the team for sure. But the next 3 points were more important. Now we had a preseason, and I think we are progressing better the ball in those gaps, the tactical discipline, what I was telling you of the players in between the lines. Now Roseto has some clear options to play there. Maybe in the past he didn't have a lot. So that all that is part of the mix of why he's progressing his game, but it's also credit to him. He's been understanding that and he's been succeeding on that. Obviously, it's one of my main request to midfielders is they receive the ball in tough areas. They have to be able to progress the ball, whether it's turning, whether it's combining, whether it's turn and pass. I don't care. They just need to move the ball from defenders to the attacking midfielders, and that's the main goal for them. And he's been understanding that. Santi's done that. I think I've seen a lot of improvement in all my midfielders. Emerson is very good on that. Santi for sure, Amar for sure, Ivara for sure, Roseto for sure. So I think I have a good group of midfielders that care about progressing the ball forward.
Thank you, Gonzalo.
Thank you.
Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
We got Bobby right here.
Is that an elephant?
It is, yeah.
What's that for?
My daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Camera's good.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Go for it. Just played Nashville 10 days ago, going back to their park. What is the advantage or disadvantage to that situation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, going there, we know what they're all about, what their tendencies are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and like you said, we just did it, just over a week ago. So hopefully, put in another good performance and come back here with 3 points.
Do you sense that this team has I don't know if the word revenge is maybe a little bit too cliche, but to lose that game when you felt you had it in your hands 2-0, does that add anything to this game to kind of prove that you are better than them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult anytime you go on the road in this league, and Nashville are a good team. They've won a lot of games, did well last year. That result was tough for us. I think that one definitely hurt a bit. So yeah, going back there, I think we're excited to go back there so quickly and be able to have an opportunity to play them again.
Bobby, well, actually, Ronaldo's listeners on Tuesday said it was a revenge game. And that's sort of the message around the locker room that you guys have been looking forward to playing that game ever since the final whistle. Does that sound pretty accurate to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I think any time that you can play a game and you don't get the result and then you get to play that opponent again, I think that's a game that you obviously look forward to very much. And just the way that we lost the game and conceding in the last minute and then losing in overtime, I think there's a lot of guys in that locker room that are looking forward to going back there.
Do you personally feel like, I mean, the way that you came into the starting job after the injury and sort of the games that have been coming back to back to back, including the cup games, do you feel like you've been able to show your strengths as a goalkeeper so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been in this situation before, and as a goalkeeper, it's sometimes you won't see action for 45, 55, 60 minutes, and then you got to be called upon to make a save. And I think that happens with our team, and the way that we play is we'll be in possession of the football for so long, and then you might not see anything for long periods of time, and then be called upon. For myself, I think I always push myself. I'm always my hardest critic, and think I can be doing more. And I think as professional players, we can all. There isn't going to be a guy there that in this locker room that isn't going to say that we should be doing more right now, and we can all improve 5-10% and start kind of turning these results that have been going against us, start turning them into positives.
You and Alex and Alan are kind of a new partnership in the heart of the defense there. How's that chemistry right now, and how do you think you've improved, and what do you want to see more from?
Yeah, I mean, I think the message is very clear from Gonzalo and the way that he wants us to play and wants us to defend. So I think it's, anytime someone steps in there, the message is still the same. Obviously, each player is going to have different strengths, different weaknesses, all those things. So I think it's just, we've played quite a while now with each other, so being able to learn each other's tendencies and predict behavior a little bit, and I think the more that we play together, the easier that becomes.
Bobby, I was here on Tuesday, and after the work was done, I saw you having a pretty long conversation with Liam out on the field. It looked like it was about technique, probably some coaching there, but what was that all about, and how important has Liam been for you in this transition for you?
Yeah, massive. He's such a positive guy, and our conversations usually we're going over goals, we're going over actions that happened during the game, and how the action played out, how I could influence the action beforehand and during, and all of those things. So I think with him, it's, he's really helping me trying to pick up positive positions to start, and ways that I can affect actions, maybe by not necessarily being involved, but picking up more positive positions, and just trying to influence the game from spots that normally maybe I hadn't before.
How has Assatsu been as a captain?
Sorry?
How has Assatsu been as a captain?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, Mate is the type of guy where he's going to put in a shift every single time he steps on the field. So I think he's one of those guys that's leading by action, and I think you can see how dedicated he is, how strong his desire is to get results, and I think that kind of bleeds into the team.
Is there a little emotional bump seeing Joseph actually out with y'all training now?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's so massive to this club, and I mean, it's no secret we've had some massive injuries here to start the season, and to get someone back and to start getting some players back is big for us.
Bobby, watching the last game against New England over again, especially that second goal from Buxa, where he's kept onside. After reviewing that play, how do you think you can help there? I know stepping, like, you've got to be really cohesive. The back line has to be in sync. It's a new back line, but like, how do you think you can prevent that sort of play from happening again?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is communication. I mean, this is something that we work on in training week in and week out, keeping the line tight, keeping the line all together on the same line, and there are times where it's not going to be good, and we go over that in video, and there are times where it improves, and I think it's just a constant battle where we're trying to find that moment where we can play that high line, but not being too aggressive and conceding the opportunity to be played in behind. And I think it's just communication. I think it's, coming from me, coming from everyone, when we can step up, when we need to drop, and, there's times when we need to maybe just drop back into shape and soak up some pressure and work from there. And I think that's something that we've talked about quite a lot is maybe there are times when we don't need to go out pressing, don't need to, pull the line as high, and maybe we need to sit in and soak up some pressure and then kind of get our breath and go from there.
What kind of game do you expect in Nashville on Saturday? I mean, the first half, last in the Cup match was really good from Atlanta United. Game of two halves. So how do you just correct those mistakes, and what do you expect from them? They played last night too.
Yeah.
So how do you expect that game to start? Perhaps like the first 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're playing at home, and there's going to be a lot of people there, so I'm sure they'll feed off of that energy. I'm sure, they did just play on Wednesday. They've had quite a few games in a short period of time, but, in the first 20 minutes, they're going to be feeding off the crowd, and I'm sure they'll come out a bit high. And, I don't think it'll be too dissimilar to the game that we had there previously. I think we'll have a lot of the ball, and it's just going to be if our quality comes through, and then limiting opportunities for them and trying to get a result.
Have you seen? I've got one last one. Have you seen an improvement from this group in playing away from home and managing those sort of factors, the crowd, the kickoff time, the stadium? Do you see? Is that something that's talked about? Have you seen a gradual improvement at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I look at our road matches this year, I don't think there have been very many that we've really put in a poor performance. We've not really gotten the results. We've only gotten one result away from home, but I can't look at some of these performances and say, oh, we were poor today or we didn't do well. We are conceding goals when we probably are in situations that we shouldn't be conceding goals. But the overall performance is positive, and there are a lot of positives moving forward from the performances. So, of course, unacceptable to be going away from home and be conceding goals in situations we shouldn't be, but also looking at the entire performance and realizing it's not all negative. There are positives for sure, and if we can cut out certain little things that are happening and stay a little bit tighter, soak up a little bit more pressure, then we'll get more results on the road.
You talked about him a little bit, but I wanted to ask you about Alex DeJohn, obviously another player who's kind of coming in for a big player in this team, and very different, obviously, because Miles is kind of unique in terms of his physical gifts. So how does Alex, what does he kind of add or change? How does the dynamic change with him in the back line from your perspective as the goalkeeper?
Yeah, I don't think it's too dissimilar from the situation that I'm in. I mean, Alex can't be Miles, and
right.
He's not the same player as Miles, so, Miles is going to have different strengths than Alex has, and I think if you look at the performances that Alex has been, he didn't play any minutes, and then he stepped in, he's been excellent. So, I mean, that's a credit to him for being a top professional and keeping himself fit and ready to go. And I think he's also always a very much so a presence in the locker room, whether he's playing or not, which is, positive and keeps him dialed in. And I think that shows over the last couple games.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you.
Joey.